Alright guys, so this is the Yamaha Rhino engine that I got built and put back together. Did get it running. We shut it down to tighten up bolts and do them, pre-trip inspection after the build. And when we went to start it back, all we had was the starter just spinning. As you can see here, this is your starter gear, this is your Bendix, and it runs on this pretty son of a bitch right here. This is your flywheel, and your flywheel sits inside your magneto like that, right? Well, your magneto is what actually times the engine and makes it fire. Well, this gear, the flywheel, is running on a sprag unit, and all a sprag unit is a set of bearings that only allows for the whatever it's working to spin in one direction. So the starter was just spinning this wheel on the crankshaft, and as you notice, well, that's backwards. I've been at work all day and come home to this, so, but it sets on here like this. It's hard to do this with one hand. Let me take this. Well, while I'm in here to show you this, what actually happened was this Keyway. As you can see, that Keyway is just about flat with the crank. When I got it tore apart, this is the other piece of the Keyway. We had a machine shop make this for us. Apparently it's not made out of the right material, because this is the actual Keyway that goes in there. When I went to order this, it was out of stock. So we had a machine shop make us one, and as you can see, it's sheared. So we're gonna try and remove this. See if I can find a place to set this thing where y'all can still see what's. Let me put this on the stand here. Hold on, my garage is a damn mess. Let me get this set up right quick. My little boy usually helps me, and he's not here tonight, so I'm doing this by myself. So as you can see, my garage is a damn wreck. And I'll try to get this where you can. I'm gonna try to spin this motor over where she's tight. So anyway, what you'll do is you'll take a punch like this, and you just take and hammer that moon out. And you got to be careful so you don't drop this down in the engine. But this was the problem that started this whole damn deal anyway. If somebody didn't have any damn sense and was in here. So as you can see, the thickness of that one versus the thickness of that one. This is the one that came out of the engine just now. So what we're going to do is, this is a pretty common problem if someone has been in here and has not known what they were doing. And as you can see how my, let's get something sharp here. This is a pair of lock ring pliers. You can see how that catches. That's not very smooth. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some valve grinding compound. There's two different sizes. This one here is fine, and this one is coarse. You'll always want to start with this one. So what you also want to be very careful when you're applying this, because this is actually metal that is in grease. It's a synthetic grease. If I ain't mistaken, that's the right one. It's synthetic. But you take and smear it on your crank just where your magneto goes. And an old man showed me this years ago. We were poor. We didn't have a lot of money. We actually didn't have a lot of anything, but this old man, I had a Kawasaki 110 three-wheeler that kept fucking up. So anyway, he showed me this, and so I figured, what better way than to show it on to some people that's actually going to try to save themselves some money. And you would put this back on there just like you're going to seat it up, and then spin this in one direction for 1 minute. Do not do this number. Apparently, I don't know for sure, and I'm not going to tell you that it will, but apparently if you do that, it will actually embed metal into your crank, because that crank outside's pretty soft, you know, considering that it's an actual moving piece. So you do this for a minute. We're at about 30 seconds right now, and you want to be kind of patient with it. Don't force it. It's going to catch ever so often. That is where the flywheel timing, or the magneto timing, is hitting where the Woodruff key sets. So, and it got hung up there. So we'll do it another 15 or 20 seconds. I had to pull that back there a minute. But we're going to do this. This may take more than one time. If it does, just take your time. Don't get in a big damn hurry and mess a bunch of stuff up, because this is going to cost you a lot of money if you have to put another crank in there. So now then, I can tell you that didn't do it all, but it has cleaned it up a lot, so I can tell you that I'm going to have to do this 3 or 4 times. So we're going to go right back with our course, make sure this is course, and it is. So we'll put a little bit more on there this time. And this will probably be the last time, because it did clear up a bunch of that. But this is going to be live. It's not a cut version of what I'm doing. I'm not going to take out steps and shit like everybody else does. If you don't want to sit through this, obviously you know what I'm doing. You can fast forward or whatever. I've not posted any videos yet. I'm just making a collage of them, and I'm not really trying to make a living at this. I have a job, I'm an electrician and everything else, so I'm just trying to pass on my knowledge that I have, and it's not a lot, but any knowledge that somebody else gives you, something you can't ever give back, you can always give it to somebody else. So we're going to do this in about 2 minutes, spinning it, Again, you don't want to do this number because that's just going to cause problems. I don't know what it would do, but they tell me that it embeds this soft metal into the hard metal of the crank and it'll cause problems on down the road. But I can tell you that just doing this right here and what little bit of time I've done this, it is actually becoming pretty smooth on the spinning. You can see it's not catching no more. So I'm going to start putting a little bit of tension on there and try to get it down on there, because this crank is cone shaped and it tapers down toward the outside of the crank. So when you press this on there with this part here actually goes on here. I gotta take this damn thing out. It goes on there and it presses this magneto on the crank. So when if it's not cone shaped right, it's a pain in the ass. And I would advise you, if you're doing this and you're using your old parts, you're putting a stroker kit in your four-wheeler or side-by-side or motorcycle, and you change the crank, I would highly advise you to go ahead and seat your magneto just like I am right here. When you do this, it'll actually create a suction, and you can see how that's soft spinning. It's not locking up no more. That's good. But let's see what she looks like. I guess another minute ought to suffice. We're going to do a little bit more of this. I'm sure that there's somewhere on YouTube somebody's done this before, and they might have a better way than me. More power to them. My job is not to make somebody look stupid or tell them that they're not doing their job right or they're misleading information. That's not my job. I'm just trying to pass on some poor boy information and try to help somebody out and save them some money. So this job right here that I just did, I should have videoed it, but I didn't. I was in a damn hurry. Was I rebuilt this whole motor, me and my son. Let me use my air compressor. Sorry about that. What had happened was, this is the original crank that somebody just paid to have put in this motor. And you can see that pretty shiny spot. That's where the balance shaft hit this crank and disintegrated. It tore the gears. This what times the crank to the balance shaft. And this, it busted the crank bearing. You can see all them bearings missing. This one here's still good, but I wouldn't reuse it. This is the balance shaft, and you can see right there where it hit. I don't know if you can see that. I can't see it. You can see right here where the crank hit. You see that pretty brass move, and it busted the teeth off here, knocked the whole thing out of time, and you cannot service that piece of the crank. You can pay somebody to take your crank off and rebuild it, rebalance it, or you can just do what I did and buy another crank for $130 and tear your motor apart and rebuild it. So that's what I did. And then I get into this. There we go. See that? I shouldn't have did that. Sorry. But he got hung up on that Keyway Woodruff keyhole. I think it's right here About 30 more seconds. I'm gonna do a little forcing on there. Try to get that nice and loose there for me. But anyway, like I said, I'm not trying to make nobody look bad. Not trying to tell people that they're not doing it right. My job's not to do that. I just want to help somebody that's having problems, you know, and don't have the money or the time to send this thing off. And because this, to put the crank in this thing was, labor was $2,300 where I'm at. And $2,300 is a lot of damn money. I only got $3,000 in the side by side. So to pay somebody $2,300 to do the same thing I can do at home in my spare time is ludicrous. Now you want to make sure that you get all that off your motor. That cleaned it up pretty good. I believe that fine we're going to put on there will do pretty good on it. I'm about out of this. Now this fine we're going to do for 3 minutes. I'm going to pull it off and check it, and then we're going to do it probably another minute and a half. Now that right there, you can tell it's doing. They had this thing apart and they glued it together with Permatex, and you're not supposed to use Permatex. You're supposed to use an anaerobic sealer in this joint where the case goes together right here. Anaerobic seals in the absence of air, where Permatex is a non-anaerobic. It seals with the presence of air. And Permatex actually makes up, it takes away your tolerances. You don't want that, especially when you're dealing with something that's turning, you know, 5,000-6,000 RPM, whatever these things turn. And most people that's doing these, they're not babies on them. I mean, they work the shit out of them. So I'm about a minute and a half in, maybe a little longer. We'll check it there, see what she looks like. It's smoothing out pretty good. I think I'm gonna be happy with it. I had to pull this engine. We already had this engine in once. Me and my boy set it last week, got it started up and run, checked oil pressure, and checked temperature and all that good stuff. We were getting good numbers on it. We just never got to get it in gear, try it out, because it had come apart too quick. This Woodruff keys kicked my ass. We had to have it special made, and that took, I don't know, $15 I think is what we had to pay for it, and then it took 2 days for them to make it. So we got it made, got it put in, and it lasted about 6 or 7 run minutes. So we had to take it back out, tear it back down, wait on the Woodruff key to come in. Pain in the ass. Okay. This is the 30th of December and I'm out here sweating in the garage. Oh yeah. That cleaned it up nice. Let me get some cleaner out of the parts washer here. I need to clean this place up tomorrow. I ain't got no room to move in here. My big foot's in the way, I'm sorry. Make sure that you clean all that shit out of your damn Woodruff keyhole. Because if you don't, it's going to run right into your motor. And that oil moves through there pretty good, so it only puts out, I think it's 8 or 9 pounds of oil pressure, so it's not very much. But it does send that shit through there, so I would advise you to just start it, kill it, change your oil. I know it's going to cost you 15, 20 bucks to change your oil, but it beats having to go in and redo your engine again because of some stupid rookie mistake. So let me get this off here, show you right here. Now you can see how nice and matte finish that is. That is what you're looking for. Before it had a bunch of scars and shit on it. So, alright, this is going to be the end of this video. We're going to put this thing in the parts washer. I'm going to have to take the sprag unit out because I've got a busted sprag unit right there, a busted sprag, and that will destroy your engine. So we're going to take this thing apart, put it in the parts washer, let it run overnight. That way we can get all this grit and shit out of there. We're going to wash this thing up, get it cleaned, and we're going to get rid of some of this gunk that's in there. You can't see because of my fat ass finger, but that's just glue from the factory. We're going to try to clean that up a little bit. And when I go to put this back together, I'll make another video, and then I'm going to post them all at once. So, it's poor boy's practice. I'm out.